Declines on Wall Street accelerating here into the close. The Dow near the lows of the day. The moves coming after the latest PCE reading showed more signs of cooling inflation. And joining us now is Shana Sissel, Banrion Capital Management CEO. Shana, it's good to see you. So let's start there with that PCE print. You know, Shana, it came in as expected. What did you make of it? What do you think Jay Powell made of it?
Well, I think it's going to be good news for the Fed. I think Chairman Powell will be happy with what he's seen. We had slightly higher personal income numbers, but PCE came in right in line and continues to show slowing. So having a strong consumer and slowing inflation, that's kind of exactly what they're looking to achieve.
And Shana, everybody's out with their sort of mid-year outlooks lately, and there seems to be a lot of continued bullishness out there. Although you've got the likes of Marko Kolanovic over at JP Morgan who are saying that the earnings broadening is just not going to have trouble materializing enough to continue to boost stocks from here. Where do you sit?
Well, I think that for the larger cap and the mega cap names, we will continue to see broadening earnings. My concern is more on the smaller cap names, which have struggled all along and continue to underperform. I don't see much of a tailwind or any sort of catalyst for that to turn around anytime soon. But I do think that having slowing inflation could very likely lead the Fed to do a rate cut in September, which could be a catalyst for continued economic growth and continued positive market returns going into the end of the year.
What about, Shana, that jobs report we're getting next Friday? How important do you think that is in terms of just confirmation the Fed needs when they do start cutting? Could that shift, you think, that September cut you're possibly expecting?
I think the only way it would impact the probability of a September cut is if it came in too strong. Because remember, there's a dual mandate here. So they're concerned about inflation, but they're also concerned about employment. And if the labor markets look hot, that is a negative and unlikely to result in a rate cut. That has not been what we've been seeing in recent months. In fact, they've been making adjustments to previous months down, and the unemployment rate has been ticking up ever so slightly. So unless something very surprising happens, I expect that to continue to this trend of a healthier, less tight job market, which again would be positive for the Fed.
So Shana, put it all together for us and tell us about strategically how you're thinking right now and you know, where you're sort of adding to positions.
So we've seen on a technical level increasing correlations between equities and fixed income. And Banrion is focused on alternative investments in general. So we see a lot of opportunities here to add diversification of portfolios through things like managed futures, commodities, real estate debt, things of that nature, just to sort of take advantage of their diversification benefits as we see this rise in correlation between fixed income and equity, which has been a problem now for quite some time. I want to say for the last 2 years. We think that that's where the real opportunity is to maintain strong portfolios and continue to have potentially even good income with things like real estate debt. I think the opportunity is now to really add these types of things into portfolios.
What about, Shana, the AI trend? You know, we did hear from Micron this week. They reported investors were disappointed with that print. How are you thinking about that mega trend, and how do you want to invest in it?
So there's no mistake. I am a NVIDIA bull. It's one of my favorite stocks and has been for years now. I talk about it a lot, so your viewers who have seen me before will know that. I am a bull on AI. I think we're very early in the development of AI technology. I think it impacts every single industry, and the biggest player and the leader in the space is. Now, there's other opportunities. I like to say NVIDIA has done so well that let's look at some second derivative opportunities, things that are the next potential beneficiaries of the development of AI, and look at something like Verdit VRT, which does cooling systems for data centers, which is very important because there's a lot of computing power needed for these machine learning technologies. That's one. And then there's some firm like Cisco, which is a stock that I've been burned on a ton, but it's very cheap and it does have a second derivative exposure to AI that could benefit that stock going forward. So those are some of the names I like, and that's kind of how I'm looking at it. Is we know NVIDIA is going to win, but who wins next?
Yeah, it's a good way to look at it. Shana, thank you. Appreciate it.